I thought being a rideshare driver was simple, a way to pay the bills after my old life fell apart. But after sunset, you learn the road has rules older than the asphalt, and the fares you pick up aren't always human. I just broke one of those rules, and now every shadow in my rearview mirror is whispering my name. You ever get that feeling? Driving late at night on some forgotten stretch of blacktop, the only light for miles coming from your own high beams cutting a tunnel through the darkness. You get the feeling you're being watched, not by a state trooper with a radar gun, but by something older. Something that was there long before the asphalt was laid. It's a primal hum at the base of your skull. An instinct. Listen to it. It's trying to keep you alive. Most folks think being a rideshare driver is a step down, a gig for college kids or retirees looking to stave off boredom. And they're right, mostly. During the day, it's soccer moms, accountants, and students late for class. It's mindless. It pays the bills. After 25 years of busting my knuckles under the hoods of other people's problems, mindless was exactly what I needed. My shop went under, my knees went with it, and my marriage wasn't far behind. Driving for an app called Wayfinder wasn't a career. It was a quiet place to lick my wounds, but the quiet ends when the sun goes down. The night shift is a different beast entirely. The air gets thick, heavy, like the world is holding its breath. And the passengers, they change. The app changes too. The moment the last sliver of sun dips below the horizon, the phone buzzes. Not a friendly chirp. It's a low, resonant tone, like a single note played on a cello in a cavern. The screen goes black for a second, then a stark white text appears. No logo, no friendly corporate branding. Night shift protocol, active. Adherence is not optional. 1. Visual contact is forbidden. Use mirrors for observation only. 2. The stated fare is the only accepted payment. Refuse all tips, gifts, or tokens. 3. One fare at a time. Your vehicle must be empty before accepting a new passenger. 4. All fares must be concluded before sunrise. No exceptions. I read them every single night. Even though I know them better than I know my own son's birthday. I read them because I get the distinct feeling that something knows if I don't. I learned that lesson a long time ago. I used to think it was a gimmick. Some edgy marketing bullshit from a bunch of tech bros in California trying to make their app seem cool. I laughed it off. Then a guy in a cheap suit, smelling of gin and desperation, tried to give me an extra 20. Said I was a good listener. He shoved it in the cup holder when I refused. Don't worry about it, pal. We're all just trying to get by. He got out. The door clicked shut. But when I glanced in the rearview mirror, he was still there. Grinning. Not with his mouth, but with his eyes. They were two black pits, bottomless and hungry. The 20 in the cup holder felt like it was radiating a low-level heat. I messaged support, a faceless form in the app. My panicked, rambling message was met with a cold, automated reply a day later. Protocol breach, Rule 2 log. Remedial action required. The foreign currency must be neutralized by fire. A full lunar cycle of abstinence from all meat of the sea. Your account is suspended pending compliance. I burned that 20 in a coffee can in my back alley. The flame shot up a sickly green and smelled like burnt brine and spoiled fish. I didn't eat so much as a tuna sandwich for a month. The app unlocked on the night of the next new moon. I never made that mistake again. Most nights are just strange. Unsettling. The woman who gave her destination as the place where I was born and the place where I'll be buried, which turned out to be the same empty field. The man who sat in perfect silence until we passed a church, at which point he'd let out a single, blood-curdling shriek before falling silent again. You learn to just drive. Keep your eyes on the road, your mouth shut, and your mind blank. You become a ferryman on a river of shadows. But tonight is different. Tonight, the dread has teeth. It's not because of the job. Hell, these things are predictable in their own twisted way. No, tonight I'm anxious because of something real. Tomorrow, my son, James, is getting married. I haven't seen him in 2 years. Haven't been a real father in almost 20. After the divorce, after the business failed, I thought I was poison. I cut myself out of his life, told myself it was for his own good. A clean break. It was the coward's way out, and I knew it. When that thick, cream-colored invitation arrived, I sat on my lumpy couch and cried for the first time since my own father's funeral. There was no force on heaven or earth that could make me miss this wedding. I should be at the hotel, getting a good night's sleep. But my nerves were shot. The familiar rumble of the engine, the solitude of the cab, it's the only thing that calms me down anymore. So I logged on. Just for a few hours. The first ping comes just after midnight. I accept. A man in a crisp dress shirt gets in. Looks normal. Smells of expensive cologne. Long night, he asks, his voice smooth as velvet. My hands tighten on the wheel. Something like that. Big plans for the weekend? The question is innocent. The small talk of 1,000 fares. But I feel a cold knot forming in my gut. I should lie. Say I'm watching the game. Say anything. But the pride, the stupid, foolish pride of a father, bubbles up. Yeah, I manage. My son's getting married tomorrow. The man leans forward. I can feel his presence in the mirror. Is that so? Good for him. What's the boy's name? James. The word leaves my mouth before I can stop it. James, he repeats, savoring the sound. A good, strong name. And where's the ceremony? The riverfront chapel, perhaps? My blood turns to ice. That's the venue. It's on the invitation sitting on my dresser. There is no possible way he could know that. I don't answer. I just drive, my heart hammering against my ribs. He chuckles softly in the back seat. You must be very proud. At his drop-off, he gets out, pays through the app, and stands on the curb. He doesn't walk away. He just watches me, a faint, knowing smile on his face, until I peel out and leave him behind. My hands are shaking. It's not just a feeling anymore. Something is wrong. I pull over and frantically open the app, navigating to the protocol screen. My breath catches in my throat. There, at the bottom of the list, is a new rule. Number 5. It wasn't there last night. I'd swear on my life it wasn't. 5. Do not share details of your personal life. Your history is your own. Keep it that way. A violation. On the most important night. I send a frantic message to the void of tech support. New rule. I broke it. What do I do? Silence. Of course. They only answer when it's already too late. The next few fares are a blur of escalating torment. A young woman in a tattered wedding dress gets in, humming the same song my ex-wife and I danced to at our own wedding. She hums it the entire ride, a broken, off-key lullaby. As she gets out, she leans in and whispers, her breath smelling of grave dirt and lilies. Are you sure you're invited? Next, a man who looks disturbingly like my old business partner, the one who cleaned out our accounts and left me with the debt. He doesn't say a word about it. He just talks about his son. How his son is a big success. How his son calls him every Sunday. How his son respects him. Every word is a hammer blow. Then comes the worst one yet. A kid, no older than James was when I left. He gets in and starts talking about his dad. A deadbeat mechanic who missed every baseball game, every birthday. A coward who ran away when things got tough. He isn't angry. He's just disappointed. He speaks with a hollow sadness that's worse than any rage. When I drop him off, he leaves something on the seat. A single, greasy lug nut, identical to the ones from my old shop. A souvenir from my failure. My composure is gone. I'm a wreck, my mind a swirling cesspool of guilt and fear. I have to log off. But one last ping comes through. A pickup at the Hilton downtown. The same hotel where James and his groomsmen are staying. My heart seizes. It's a trap. It has to be. But what choice do I have? To decline is to admit defeat. I pull up to the hotel entrance. A young man gets in. Clean-cut, button-down shirt, dark jeans. He's silent. He just sits there, radiating an aura of smug, triumphant stillness. He doesn't give me a destination. He doesn't have to. We both know he's the final act. I put the car in drive, my mind racing. Then, a sharp rap on my window. Dad! I flinch so hard I hit my head on the ceiling. It's James. Standing right there, a look of confusion and worry on his face. What are you doing here? I've been calling you. James, I stammer. Just a last-minute fare, son. Just trying to, you know. His eyes drift past me into the back seat. His face pales. Troy? What the hell? I just left you upstairs at the bar. How did you get down here? The thing in my back seat leans forward, draping an arm casually over my headrest. It smiles, and it's the most terrifyingly perfect smile I've ever seen. Hey man, your dad here was giving me a lift. Figured I'd grab us a case of beer for the after party. Hop in. It's Troy's voice. His exact inflection. His easygoing charm. No, James says, shaking his head, the confusion turning to fear. That's not. Dad, who is that? I don't give it a chance to answer. I slam my foot on the accelerator. The tires scream as the car lurches forward, leaving my son standing on the curb, shouting my name. Poor form, Ben, the thing says, its voice still a perfect copy of Troy's. Ditching your son. Again. Shut up, I snarl, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. You're going to miss the wedding, you know. It continues, its tone conversational. You'll be driving with me. Driving until the sun comes up. And then, well. Rule 4. No exceptions. It starts talking. It tells me stories. Stories about James. About a go-kart I promised to build but never did. About the time he made the varsity baseball team and looked for my face in the stands, but only saw an empty seat. It knows every detail, every broken promise, every quiet heartbreak. It's not just mimicking a person. It has devoured a life, my son's life, and is now regurgitating the most painful parts for my consumption. He told Troy, the real Troy, that he invited you out of pity. It whispers, leaning close to my ear. He said he knew you wouldn't show. You never do. A sob escapes my throat. A raw, ragged sound. That's what it wants. It feeds on this. We're on the highway now, heading out of the city. The sky in the east is starting to soften from black to a deep indigo. Sunrise is coming. I have something that will cheer you up, it says. A gift. It reaches into its pocket. I'm thinking knife or something worse. But it pulls out a small, ornate music box. It opens the lid, and a tinny, haunting melody fills the car. The wedding march. That's it. I snap. I yank the wheel hard to the right, sending the car screeching onto the gravel shoulder. Before the thing can react, I pop open the glove compartment and pull out the Glock I bought after a particularly nasty fare 6 months ago. Oh, a gun, it says, sounding amused. How very human. That's not part of the rules, Ben. I don't turn around. I can't. Rule 1. I close my eyes, aim the barrel over my shoulder into the center of the backseat, and I pull the trigger. The explosion is deafening inside the car. The smell of cordite stings my nostrils. For a blessed second there is silence, then a low, wet chuckle. I risk a glance in the rearview mirror. It's leaning forward, the smile wider than ever. A neat, black hole is weeping thick, dark fluid in the center of its forehead. As I watch, the hole slowly, impossibly, knits itself closed. My turn, it says, and its face begins to shift, to melt. It's no longer Troy. It's my ex-wife, her face contorted in disappointment. Then it's my father, shaking his head with sorrow. Then, worst of all, it's James, tears streaming down his face. Why did you leave, Dad? I'm broken. Utterly and completely. I'm not going to make it. I'm going to break Rule 4, and whatever happens after that, I deserve it. I abandoned my son again. This time, forever. But I can do one last thing. My hands trembling, I grab my phone. I find James's contact and press the call button. It goes straight to voicemail. He must have turned it off. I take a shaky breath. James, I begin, my voice cracking. Son, you won't see me tomorrow. And I'm sorry. God, I am so sorry. Not just for this. For everything. For the go-kart, for the baseball games, for not being the man your mother deserved, and for not being the father you needed. In the back seat, the thing has stopped shifting. It's just watching me in the mirror now, its head cocked with a strange, analytical curiosity. Tears are flowing freely down my cheeks. But I need you to know, none of it was your fault. It was all me, my weakness, my pride. And despite everything I did wrong, you grew up to be a good man, a better man than I could ever hope to be. And I am so proud of you. I'm sobbing now, barely able to speak. The first rays of dawn are touching the horizon, painting the sky in shades of blood and orange. I love you, James. Never forget that. I'll see you around, kid. I hang up. I drop the phone and grip the steering wheel, closing my eyes, waiting for the end. For the car to dissolve, for my skin to peel back, for whatever unimaginable price is demanded for breaking the final rule. Instead, I hear a soft sound. Clapping. Slow, deliberate, and sincere. I look in the mirror. The thing is back to its nondescript default form. It's applauding me. Excellent, it says, its voice now a neutral, sexless tone. A truly exquisite payment. It reaches over and drops a small, heavy object on the passenger seat. Then, it simply opens the door and steps out into the pre-dawn light. It doesn't vanish or fade. It just walks away down the empty highway until it's a speck in the distance. The sun breaks over the horizon. I'm still here. The car is still solid. I look over at what it left. It's not cash. It's an old, tarnished silver dollar, worn smooth with age. The fare. The real fare wasn't money. It was emotion. Raw, pure, and potent. My despair, my regret, and finally, my love. That's what it was hunting. That was the payment it extracted. I sat there for a long time, watching the sun climb into the sky. Then I started the car and drove home. I showered, scrubbing away the grime and the grief. I put on the suit I hadn't worn in a decade. When I got to the chapel, the ceremony was just starting. I slipped into a seat in the back row. James was at the altar, looking nervous and happy. He hadn't seen me yet. His best man, the real Troy, stood beside him. As the music swelled, Troy happened to glance back, and his eyes met mine. He gave me a small, almost imperceptible nod. A look of understanding that I couldn't possibly explain. And for the first time in a long time, as I watched my son get married, I didn't feel the chill of the darkness at my back. I just felt the warmth of the light ahead. The road is still out there. The rules are still in place. But tonight, for the first time, I felt like I had something worth driving toward. Hope. And that, I'm learning, is a far more terrifying and powerful thing than any creature of the night.